Thank you, Father Hermes, the Jesuit priests, Nick, alumni staff for conferring this award upon me. Last summer, when Nick first called Claire and I to tell us that Father wanted to speak with me and he wanted to have lunch, Claire and I were pretty nervous about it, to tell you the truth. It's like being called to the principal's office. I literally had no idea what it was about, and I asked her, well, Claire, did you do anything? And we literally were trying to figure out what we did wrong. And at lunch, when Father first told me about this, my first thought was, well, gosh, why me? I mean, you ought to give that to somebody who can either is given more, will give more, or do something for Jesuit. Just being a graduate of this great school is a big deal to me. I never, ever dreamt that I'd be recognized in this way. But over the course of the year, I've become more comfortable. I kind of like it. No, I didn't know if there are two ups, but at any rate, I see it now more as Servant of the Year than Alumnus of the Year, and I'm far more comfortable with that. This award, along with receiving the Pro Ecclesia Papal Award that Father Hermes spoke of, are the most valued recognitions I will ever receive in my lifetime. As I said in convocation, I love Jesuit High School. I'm so thankful for having received this recognition, and I will say it's been quite a challenge in preparing these talks. I've kind of struggled, even though I've given lots of lectures. These talks have been a particular struggle for me, because I don't want to disappoint the faculty. No, Father Hermes, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the faculty that are looking down on me today. Father Hartnett, Father Roca, Father May, Mr. Yendi, and Mr. Sabin, who's here today. I do also want to thank my family who are here and present for their support over the years. My daughter Carmen, my son John, and especially my wife Claire. I'm very fortunate in that Claire shares my love for Jesuit High School. And it's made it a little bit easier for those evenings that she's had to share me as I go off to football games or whatever other events. But I've been very fortunate, and I'm thankful to God for Claire and for the support and the way that she loves Jesuit. I do also want to recognize, I have an uncle here. My father is still alive, but he's too ill to attend. And my uncle Hector Vila is here as a representative of my family. And Uncle Chacho, you out there someplace, just wave out. There you are. Thank you for being here. And finally, to my class of 1975 classmates, most of which are seated at a table here, you guys wave your hands. They're such a huge part of my Jesuit experience. I'm so happy to have your support, to be able to share today examples of how our class didn't diminish after graduation, but has become stronger, and we continue to grow in freedom and brotherhood, in service and in friendship. Somehow, and I know I won't be able to do it today, but somehow I want to convey to you, new alumni, the love that we have as a class. It's something we can't describe. It keeps growing. You guys are my best friends, and I love you dearly. And finally, a huge thanks to the faculty and staff of Jesuit. Father Hermes, your leadership, your commitment, and your authentic example of holiness are something I can't even describe. You're extraordinary, and thank you for everything you do for this school and have done. Faculty and staff, you've produced some great fruit here today. It's shown not only in the academic achievements, but in the formation and the men of the class of 2018. On behalf of the alumni, all alumni, we are eternally grateful to you and commit our support to you. Before I get into actually welcoming the 2018 graduates to the elite group of Jesuit alumni, I want to take just a quick moment and figure out who was paying attention. So this is kind of the first annual Hector Vila Convocation Comprehension Awards. So for the 2018 graduates, tell me, what does this sign mean? All right, so whoever had it first, come up and see me afterwards. I have something for you, okay? All right. All right. Then the questions get harder. Hang in there. Pay attention. Who can tell me how you get peace? Okay. All right. Again, see me afterwards. How about by following God's will? And then who can tell me 2 Ignatian principles that should be your pathway to peace? Who can tell me one? Okay. All right. Yes. Okay. I like it. Come see me afterwards. All right. And then finally, this is probably the hardest one. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Does anybody know what freedom means in the alma mater? All right. Well, stick around. I'll tell you. So you passed the test. I think they can graduate, Father. All right. Class of 2018, on behalf of the Jesuit alumni, I congratulate you on your accomplishments. After 4 years of Jesuit education and formation, you're finally here. It's an exciting morning for us and for you, for your parents, for your teachers, and all that took part in your lives. This started as a dream for you as 8th graders, and I'm glad we had those pictures up there. You took the Jesuit entrance exam. This has become a dream fulfilled for many of your parents since the day you were born. As your mom and dad both thought to themselves, it's a boy. He'll be a Jesuit tiger one day. You're a special group of men. You're chosen years ago by your parents to follow a Jesuit legacy or to start a new Jesuit legacy. We're the bystanders here. We're blessed and proud to see the Jesuit transformation that you've made from boys into manhood. You've been well groomed over the last 4 years academically and spiritually, and now ready to move into the world as disciples of Jesuit values. You have a duty to live by the Jesuit code and to share what you've learned with your fellow man. You must lead by example. We're so very proud of your accomplishments, and I just want to point out a few notable senior standouts who are examples of men for others. Just stand as I say your name. Ricky Luasis. Ricky, if you're there, the St. Peter Claver Award winner for most service hours. Michael Lennertz, the Hart Award winner from Special Olympics. John Robbins, the president of Meals on Wheels High School Leadership Board. And Eric Irani, Volunteer of the Year for Tennis for Fun for the mentally challenged young people. You guys are great examples of being men for others. Congratulations. Also, a quick shout out to Josh Cruz for his academic accomplishments, including the Jenkins Award in Science. This award is donated by Steve Jenkins, one of my classmates from the class of 1975, and Steve and his wife Carol also contributed $2.5 million or so for the construction of the new science building. Oh yeah, I haven't left off. Great job, class of 2018. You beat TC for the 18th straight year. And great job to the baseball team last night. It was tight. I was there. It was a little tight for a while, and then you drummed them. So great job, baseball team. All right, but let me be clear about one thing here. It sounds like something is concluded, you're graduating. That's not at all the case. It's actually the beginning of your new life as an alumnus. It's a promotion to the next level. Guys, it's like kindergarten to first grade. The best is way, way yet to come. I'd like to share with you briefly how I and the other alumni from my class and the other classes have grown over the years to become even stronger and more dedicated to the Jesuit principles. And I'd like to start with a few pictures. So this is just a quick photos from 5-year reunion. So this is how it all started out. Hopefully we're going to see some pictures like this. Next 5-year reunion again, and then 20-year reunion. So waistlines are growing a little bit. And then next, this is the 40-year reunion. 40 classmates, and there were even more at the dinner. Our classes stayed together, and we're there together at masses and also at funerals. So we've been through a lot together. And we have a tradition of Christmas parties. This is one of the Christmas parties. And Coach Straub is actually seated down below. Coach Straub is the person I recognized during my convocation lecture about having lost his legs and taught us some very valuable lessons. Our class has stayed close to the faculty, and I encourage you to do the same thing. These people are truly your friends. Stay close to them. They will guide you. They've meant a lot to us over the years. And then the next picture is another holiday party. And we have a tradition in our class. At each holiday party, we sing the alma mater together. And it's kind of thinking about that alma mater that helped me to prepare the next part of this speech. And I wanted to give you a speech that you would remember. But given all the speeches you're going to hear this week and over the next couple of weeks with graduation, there is just no chance of that happening. There really isn't. You're being very attentive, and I appreciate that. So I decided to take something you already remember and make it into my speech, and then I can take credit for, hey, these guys remembered. So 4 words from the alma mater, and I'm going to expand upon those 4 words. Freedom and brotherhood, service and friendship. Because those are the 4 words that have meant so much to our class. So freedom. What freedom describes in our alma mater is an inner freedom. It's to be free of personal preferences, attachments to objects, preformed popular opinions. It doesn't mean now that you can't be part of a fraternity, that you can't go to sporting events and be part of sporting clubs or other social activities in college. Quite to the contrary. We want you to be a part of those organizations. We want you to show leadership in those organizations. But when you're doing it, we want you to make an example of how your decision-making is a free choice to follow God's will in your actions. One of my biggest recommendations to you as you go off to college is that you go to church every Sunday. Period. It's a commandment. It's not a suggestion, and you will need it. I promise you will. It's not going to be easy, but do it. And by the way, you'll probably meet some really nice girls there. Brotherhood. You're going to always find a Jesuit grad, a brother, wherever you go. You're going to find them at your colleges, in future jobs, nearly everywhere in Tampa, and not only nationally, but around the world. You're now part of this brotherhood. Surely, it will help you at times, but your brothers will be there at the most important times. Dennis Levine, one of my classmates, told me, I've experienced real examples of how I trust my classmates. The doctor who reconstructed my knee after I tore my ACL, a classmate. The doctor who checks to make sure my colon is clear, a classmate. The doctor who took out my son's appendix, a classmate. And it goes on and on. And he goes on and on to say how many people have come to him over the years for legal advice. In my particular situation, a couple of years ago, I began to lose sight in one of my eyes one evening. I called Benny Perez, who's here today. Benny didn't just give me advice over the phone. 20 minutes later, he was at my house checking me. He and his brother saved my eyesight. So it's those times of needs that this brotherhood is going to mean the most to you. You see the pride that we have, and you'll see it in my classmates when they talk about my accomplishments and each other's accomplishments. It means so much to me to see the look in a classmate's eyes when I attend the funeral of one of their parents, to know that we're there for them. And in the last few weeks, how we've reached out to Pat and Tom Ratchford as their brother Andy was dying of cancer. Service. We're called to be servants, not masters. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to study or work hard, that you don't have to study. So you're going to be a servant. All right. Dr. Vila said we're going to be servants. We don't even need to worry about college. We're just going to go out and help people paint their houses, pick up trash in their yard, or take them food. And those are great things. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think you were called just to be a servant. I think you were called to be a perfect servant. For instance, Michael Jordan could go out and paint houses, like I said, but instead he uses his platform to mentor kids, be a spokesperson, and so forth. He uses his treasure to do immense good. All of you are gifted intellectually, and you must use that gift to the most of your ability. So, for instance, it's good to be a doctor and heal people. I challenge you to be the doctor that goes out and finds the cure to disease so you can heal many people. It's good to be a lawyer and maybe represent somebody that at a time of need, but I challenge you, go out and be the lawyer that helps pass the laws that protect the most vulnerable in our society. So I'm asking you today, as you embark on the rest of your lives, to step it up. Be the best that you can be, and turn that into service for others. Friendship. I encourage you to be social. You need to start getting together each year, starting next year. Develop a tradition. For instance, something that our class does. Every Saturday night before Christmas, so we kind of know it's coming up right before Christmas, we meet at a restaurant. You guys pick a place, Hooters, wherever your favorite restaurant is, and get together. Our class holiday party has been a big part of that. And of course, other collective endeavors, such as we helped one of our classmates, Jim Davis, in his run for governor. We have a collective endeavor that we've all gotten together, thanks to the leadership of Dennis Levine, and we have a class of 1975 endowment to provide tuition for a student at Jesuit. Of course, it's going to take people to step up and lead. So who are you? Who from this class is going to step up? Who's going to be the glue? Who's going to send the emails? Who's going to arrange the locations? It's got to be one of you. Friendship will keep giving. As the years have gone by, we've gotten to know classmates who we didn't know well or at all during our time at Jesuit. I realize that this is the thing that we have all, it's the things that we have all in common, not our differences, that are really the strength of Jesuit. For instance, this is a group of 4 of us that last year went down to the baseball championship to see the team in the state playoffs. And during the drive, and 2 of us are doctors and 2 are lawyers, we have immense political and social differences. That's putting it lightly. But for 4 hours, we rode together, 2 hours down and 2 hours back. Dennis is shaking his head. And we had some pretty heated discussions, maybe debates, whatever. But it was wonderful, gentlemen. There are folks in your class that you won't agree with, but they're your brothers, they're your friends. Enjoy the diversity, embrace the diversity. You will be stronger and better for it. Dale Kimball's story, next slide. This is about Jim Carney. Jim, who's seated on the right there, was president of our student body. He had been a lawyer for 25 years and practiced in Baltimore and Chicago, aiding persons in need, aiding and defending persons in need. Jim suffered some tough times, and he came back to Tampa, and he reacquainted with Dale, who had been the vice president of the student body at that time. Dale spent much time with Jim. They rekindled their longtime friendship, but unfortunately, after 10 years, Jim died, and we've now lost him. But those 10 years, their friendship blossomed. They grew and helped each other out, their families, as well as the community. That's what friendship is about, and that's what your class will be like. So the first 4 words of our alma mater mean so much to us, and we hope they will to you. My fellow alumni and I have struggled over the last year to describe the secret formula that makes our alumni experience so special. I now know it can't be written down. It's like beautiful. You can't write down what beautiful is, but you know it when you see it. And so I'd like to wrap this up going back to this picture. If you look at this picture and then you look again at the next picture, you're going to see the smiles on those faces. It's genuine happiness. Being a Jesuit alumnus will bring you great joy as it has for us. And we've gotten there when we gained the freedom to drop the labels that divided us, the unconditional love for each other as brothers, and we had acts of service together for the school and the community and for each other. All of this has happened, and the happiness comes from our friendship. Freedom and brotherhood, service and friendship, it's all there, my brothers. And so, as I conclude here, I recently heard this servant song, and it meant a lot to me as I was putting this talk together, and so I'd like to do it in the form of a prayer. So if you bow your heads. Jesuit brothers, let me be your servant. Let me be as Christ to you. We are pilgrims on a journey. We are brothers on the road. We are here to help each other, walk the miles, and bear the load. I will hold the Christ light for you in the time of your fear. I will hold my hand out to you and speak the peace you long to hear. I will weep when you are weeping. I'll laugh when you laugh. I'll share your joy and sorrow till we've seen this journey through. Brother, let me be your servant. Let me be like Christ to you, and pray that I too may have the grace to let you be my servant too. Amen. Go Tigers.